and welcome to live coverage of the final match of this Barclays Women's Super League weekend. Reading host Arsenal at the Select Car Leasing Stadium. The Gunners remain undefeated in the league and undefeated against Reading in all 12 previous meetings. However, let's not forget that the Royals were the only side last season to beat Chelsea, who would then go on to become champions. Kelly Chambers knows they're going to need that kind of performance again here today. And just like this time a year ago, Reading have started with a run of defeats. It was a long while before they won last term, but they recovered brilliantly and will surely find their feet soon enough. But this is an especially tough assignment for them today, up against a side who were only beaten once in the league last term and have been perfect so far, albeit only a couple of games in. For Arsenal, all smiles right now. A couple of league games and 2 4-0 victories to go with them, plus, crucially, European progress in the mix. That said, this is the first of 3 away trips in 7 days for the Gunners, and they're without some key players too. Reading will wonder if they might have their minds slightly on Lyon, who are coming next. So this the final match of this latest round of games. Yesterday saw an extraordinary and feisty encounter as Aston Villa's unbeaten record went at home to West Ham. Earlier today, champions Chelsea won 3-1 at Everton. Manchester City looked more like their old selves with a 4-0 win over Leicester. Manchester United did a first-half demolition job on Brighton and ended up winning that one 4-0, and a Nifahi own goal gave Tottenham Hotspur the win over Liverpool. This is what the table looks like for what it's worth. Obviously, these 2 clubs here have only played twice. Chelsea have already played 4 times. Arsenal trying to join Chelsea and Manchester United on the perfect 9 out of 9 mark in the case of Manchester United. Chelsea, of course, the champions, losing on the opening day against Liverpool. And Reading, as you can see, 2 played, 2 lost, albeit with a slight caveat or 2. Might be a slightly strange feeling today at the back for Emma McCandy, a former medal winner in her time with Arsenal, 6 years a Gunner. Off last season on maternity leave and back as a regular now in the heart of the Reading defence. Real experience, and they'll need that as they try and deal with what's been a very difficult start to the season. But most of these players have experienced that last season with the Royals too. Not Natasha Dowie was twice a league winner with Liverpool, has played a lot of football and scored a lot of goals for a lot of different clubs. Came to Reading having been with Milan. She scored late in the cup defeat to Tottenham the other day. And this is the big news, really, not that Steph Catley is playing, but where she is playing. The Australian international in at centre-half, which she has deputised in a couple of times today. Arsenal have real issues there with both Raphael and the skipper Leah Williamson injured. And alongside Steph Catley coming in, I thought it might be Jen Beattie in there with 1 or 2 of these, but it is Catley and Lottie Wubben-Moy, the England international, albeit on the fringes. This time last year was actually a regular starter at the back. That's before Raphael came in the winter window. Game number 3 of the new WSL season for both of these clubs, and as you've seen, they both have a 100% record. The right kind of 100% for Arsenal, and the wrong kind for the hosting Royals here. It's not an obvious fixture in which to try and gather points for the first time this season. It has been 3 weeks without league action. There's been some cup ties going on, and of course the international break. It's 2.5 weeks since Arsenal booked their place in the Champions League group stage, and that was a very big deal. Just edged out Ajax over 2 legs, thanks to their own Dutch star, Vivianne Miedema. They have Lyon coming up in midweek as that Champions League group stage begins. And the European efforts have meant there's really been no gentle settling in period for Arsenal this season. Those two tense, tight playoff legs in the Champions League against Ajax, and their group stage beginning with the toughest possible test, really, away to the record winners and holders of Lyon. And they wouldn't be human if the minds weren't perhaps just drifting a little towards that. And Reading here will certainly hope that is the case. I'm sure Jonas Eideveld will have made sure that it isn't. Arsenal won 4-0 here in Berkshire on the second weekend of last season. 3 scored by the half-hour mark and another just after the restart. That wasn't really a contest, nor was the rearranged March reverse fixture. That also ended 4-0 to Arsenal. Kelly Chambers has been quick to point out that the side have not had the rub of the green so far this season. A slight dig in the direction of the match officials who've been involved. The Royals will need to raise their game here against a side that only lost at Birmingham in last season's league campaign and have been unbeaten in league and Europe already this season. Arsenal know the standards are so high at the top. And even just a small handful of draws and that one defeat was enough to see them pipped to the title by Chelsea. There's not a lot of room for error at all in a 22-game league season. Kelly Chambers in the Reading coach. Players coming together for a common message across the league. It's got captain Kim Little right there. Remember, no Leah Williamson, although Little usually wears the armband anyway. Williamson for England, and even more leadership required from her today. Maybe just a bit more protection in that central midfield duo. Her and Leah Valti, we shall see. Well, Reading have the Belgian Justin van Havermeet back involved today. Her inclusion, one of 3 changes. Young Emma Harries comes in to start 2, and so, this is the big news, does Jackie Burns in goal. A WSL debut for the Northern Ireland international, with Grace Maloney dropped following recent events on international duty. You may or may have heard about that. Just leave that one there, I think. As for Arsenal, well, Beth Mead for once did not start last time out in that Ajax game. She does return here, no surprise. Vivianne Miedema has a particular liking for today's opposition. The main news, though, is the double injury blow in central defence. Leah Williamson and Raphael both out, with Catley and Wubben-Moy stepping in. McCabe and Ford return on the left side. 4 changes in all. It's Wienreuter, not Maritz, at right back. Reading not just beaten in the 2 league games so far, but also beaten in the cup by Tottenham. They've scored only 2 goals, and both were pretty late consolations in the last 2 outings. Both of those finishing 2-1 against them. Both too little, too late. Lost 4-0 at Manchester United on the opening weekend. Lost 2-1 to Brighton. 2-1 to Tottenham, that was the cup tie. Since then, Arsenal, they've had their 2 Ajax legs. They've had a 4-0 home win over Brighton. And then in front of that record 50,000 plus crowd at the Emirates, 4-0 cruise of a victory over Tottenham. And it will be the Gunners in black to get us going. On the first whistle, the players taking a knee in the continued stance against discrimination. And away we go to wrap up what is, well, for most clubs, the third weekend of this new WSL campaign. Only a victory will take Arsenal back to joint top with Manchester United and Chelsea. They might be in here. One long ball, it's Blackstenius! What a stop from the debutant Burns. Less than half a minute into her WSL bow, but the danger's not over. It should be now. Well, how about this? Good decision. Look level, great long ball, wonderful chance for Stina Blackstenius, matched by the save. She's got plenty of experience, Jackie Burns, so I doubt she'd have been too nervous, even though this is her league bout. She did play in the cup tie. The Northern Ireland international, who played all 3 games at the Euros for her country, and has been and played in many a nation, has, if there were any nerves, just made an excellent and nerve-settling stop. Here is Catley, who played that pass. Katie McCabe now down the channel for Caitlin Ford. Akerland in on the cover. The throw will be Arsenal's. You'd expect Arsenal to have the ball for most of this game. Reading will have to defend better than that, because Arsenal have a million ways they can hurt you with good football. One long ball is surely way too easy. Here's Harris in at right wing back today. Certainly not a deliberate back pass. Slight surprise that Faye Bryson misses out in that department on the right side for Reading. One of those dropping to the bench. McCabe. Katie McCabe scored in the second meeting last term in the spring against Reading on her return from suspension. Arsenal free kick. Rachel Rowe with the foul. Part of a pretty strong Welsh contingent that the Royals have. Slightly down on last year with 1 or 2 departures. Brooke Chaplin has now taken the general manager's job at Reading. Lost Tash Harding to Aston Villa. They have brought in Wellings and Caldwell, Wade and Burns, who we've already seen in action here. And Havermake keeps it moving. Here's Rowe. Good ball into space there. Dowie is in the middle. Oh, excellent skill. How's the cross? Well, it's disappointing is the answer to that. Lily Woodham did so well to begin with. That was the harder part. Shame about the delivery. Another one of the Welsh contingent. Regular in this position, in the left of defence. And she's sent Lara Wienreuter the wrong way with that. Made to look rather foolish. Interesting slot that for Arsenal this season. Lara Wienreuter came in mid-season when Arsenal did a fair bit of recruitment, actually. Blackstenius and Raphael also coming in. Noel Marritt's the regular there for so long, but there's a bit of a feeling that Wienreuter, if she's not already, she takes this throw here, may soon become first choice in that department. McCabe. Miedemar trying to win it back. Couldn't do it. Wubben-Moy stepping in. Fouling Tia Primer. Tough angle to get a real killer delivery on this. And it's at least into the mix. Wubben-Moy got her head on it. Blackstenius helps it further clear. Evans. Oh, nearly caught out. Forward by Deanna Cooper down that channel. That looked like a pretty blatant push. From Primer. Right under the nose of the assistant as well. Never going to get away with that. Needs to repeat the feat of last year. That is for sure. They were pointless and indeed goalless in the opening month last term, and then suddenly excellent. They beat Villa, they beat Birmingham. Won in the cup as well. And after the winter international break, they won here against Chelsea. Goals for has been the issue more than goals against. That was the hope with Dowie coming, that would be the prolific striker they've not really had as a club since Frank Kirby. Here's Beth Mead, who's not seen much of the ball in these opening minutes. She's given it away there. Here's Lily Woodham. Forward by Van Havermeet. Taking over again here, the Belgian. Not involved last time out, but back involved now. New signing last summer from Lillestrøm, the Belgian. Candy. 6 years a gunner. The first touch of the evening for Manuela Zinsberger. Just watching the dynamic there between her and her centre-backs tonight. Let's see if they slot straight back in. Jonas Oudeval saying you can't expect them to be exactly the same as Williamson and Raphael. Lottie Wubben-Moy plays that position entirely. Steph Catley can and has. Who generally lines up as a left-back. Occasionally Katie McCabe gets that slot instead. Certainly not Catley's general position, but it's not completely alien, so we're not talking about really square pegs in round holes here. Zinsberger rarely has much to do, to be honest, because the organisation is such in her defence, and indeed Leah Valti and to some extent Kim Little in front of them. Chances tend to be at a premium if you're playing against Arsenal. have kept 3 clean sheets this season. The only goals they've conceded were the 2 against Ajax in the first leg of that Champions League playoff. That was 2-2 and then 1-0 in the second leg. Miedemar making the difference. Another chance for Reading to put some quality into that Arsenal box from a slightly wider position. And Havermack trying the flick on. There's Beth Mead. Nicely done. Ford moves it on. Wienreuter pitching up on the left wing, the right back, and she's lost it to Egeland. Slung in towards Dowie, just a little too far. Catley was there. Past that test. Mead, strong, blatantly fouled. Probably ought to be a yellow card. Lily Woodham might get away with it because of that ludicrous old cliche that it's early in the game. 20 minutes from now, that's a nailed-on caution. She knew exactly what she was doing. No more, says Louise Saunders. It's a freebie for sure. It's given away cheaply. Poor from Ford. Leovalti doing what Leovalti does so well. And that's why Arsenal keep the amount of clean sheets they do. They had 8 clean sheets in 9 to finish last season's league campaign. 8 straight league wins. The aggregate of 31 goals to 2 still wasn't enough. Looking for the opener here. Mead, deflection, corner. The first goalward blast for the Lionesses and indeed Gunners' hero. Beth Mead, probably going wide anyway. Certainly was after it took a touch. She's on corner duty now. It was a low one. Somehow it ended up with a shot from Leovalti. Can't believe that Beth Mead meant that, but Dowie does enough defending to get it clear. Blackstenius. His chance after 27 seconds remains the only real chance of this game so far. Half a chance a moment ago for Mead. Catley, 3rd season as a gunner, 5 times the title winner in her out of Australia with her hometown clubs of Melbourne. Is Kim Little. Lovely way to pass down the flank. Bounce really made it hold up there for Beth Mead, who is charging in, and I wondered if there was going to be a late one coming in on Gemma Evans. Nearly. Played every single minute of last season, Gemma Evans, as a new signing as well. Came from Bristol, essentially to replace Molly Bartrip, who went to Tottenham. Incredible longevity of fitness, really, to not miss a single minute of a league campaign. Catley here with time to pick the pass. It's headed out by McCandy. Neatly done by Little. Greenreuter. On the charge. Strong run. Good pass too. Is Blackstenius. Candy staying calm. As Evans clears. Just some stirring signs of life from Arsenal here. Valti is not in the side to take risks. She didn't with that pass there. There's the protective shield. Play it safe and get back in position, which she did. Is Miedema. Reading have kept her off the ball so far. The all-time WSL top scorer. Already scored 2 against Tottenham and the Champions League winner at Ajax. Sensational record against Reading. 12 WSL goals against them already, and another in the cup. Here's McCabe on the charge for Arsenal. Strong enough to get away from the challenge. Van Havermeek gets back in to cut out the cross. Home fans screaming for a counter, but that layoff from Tash Dowie is, well, that's below her usual standard. Little. Again. They might rotate some of the wider attacking positions a bit, even occasionally up front as well, Arsenal, but it never seems to change as Kim Little and Leah Valti as those two in there. Candy being allowed to travel and to pass again. Candy's header. Woodham had to do that really under pressure from Beth Mead. Probably knew it was going to end up turning over possession. Is there enough spin? There is. Greenreuter will get there for the little pass. Miedema thought she was in for a moment, but Evans was there instead. Little again, great first touch. Switch is the only ball on here, because only Ford was in the box. Here's Miedema. Neat feet to start with, and maybe a bang on the head. Saunders brings the game to a halt here, Primer down. Ouch. He's caught squarely there and has done well to get up so quickly. Firm from Miedema, no doubt about that. Twice a champion with Bayern. She left in 2017 for Arsenal. Scorer again last season, Vivianne Miedema, despite actually quite often not playing as the focal point of the attack. Certainly once Blackstenius had arrived anyway. For someone who scores as many as she does, she makes an enormous amount of goals as well. That's why Arsenal was so chuffed to have her continue her stay. There was a lot of talk she might not. End of last season, Dowie would have been offside, that pass couldn't come. Now, Reading may be caught with a few of those blue and white shirts too far up the field. Arsenal will look to try and make them pay for that. Ford. Valti. Mead. There's room for the shot here. Maybe not now. Miedema. She's caught hold of that and caught hold of Gemma Evans in the process. just still shaking that off, Gemma Evans, as she came out to challenge Mead there. Just seen her trudge back a bit, and she's going to come out again. We're going to have a look at that in a minute. Here's Kim Little. Kate Lefort getting out the way in a hurry of her teammate. Pretty stern defence so far from Reading, apart from 25 seconds in. They've actually closed the gaps very nicely. Genuine discipline. Catley coming in field. This is how high Arsenal are up the field. It's one set of half. Here's the other. Welty just dropping in. Good possession. Patient, and it's working. Miedemar onto Ford. That's awkward. Should be in. It's not. What a chance! Weinreiter arriving round the back. Should be 1-0. Really good football. For a while they just had to keep it in safe areas. Here came the penetration. Onside, no doubt about it. As Miedemar found Ford. And what an opportunity for Laura Weinreiter to get her first Gunners goal. Four shots. Only one on target. Half a minute in. Little. That's a foul. From that catching Little, the ball had gone. Just revving up a bit here, Arsenal. Only a quarter of the game gone, though. I guess that's Reading's, well, first part of the job done anyway. Something Arsenal did brilliantly last season was score early goals, and what an opportunity they've missed to do that here. Dangerous in towards Blackstenius, didn't get that far. Out it goes by Akerlund. Ambitious McCabe shot nearly turned into a useful assist. That's going to stay in play. Little. Cut out by Akerlund. That's a nice pass. It's also an excellent tackle. Leah Walty. It's priceless to Arsenal for precisely that reason you've just seen there. Ref says Vivianne Miedemar. Scrape on the arm, I think, here. A new deal earlier this year, Jonas Eiderval came into the job last summer with the brief of closing the gap on those above. He certainly did that. They'd been 9 points off the pace the year before in terms of the gap to champions Chelsea, and only just clear of Man United in fourth. They were top of the league for so long. As Chelsea had played their games in hand, they just edged themselves in front, and both clubs on extraordinary winning streaks all the way through to the end of the campaign. And there was nothing Arsenal could do because Chelsea just had to drop something somewhere, and they didn't. There's the ball in from Catley. Quick bandage, I should think, on that lower forearm. You could see a little bit of blood, whether I presume it's studs scraped Vivianne Miedema. Came into this season on 74 WSL goals, 12 above Ellen White, and has now stretched that gap to 14 with her double at home to Spurs. How much the crowd loved that on a sunny day at the Emirates, that record-breaking crowd on the side of Alan his players were so proud to be a part of. It wasn't much of a contest, but I don't think the Gunners fans would have been too worried about that. Saw Tottenham put to the sword. On we go. Pretty much as many Arsenal fans inside the select Carlation Stadium as there are Reading fans here. That's a pull for sure by Cooper on Blackstenius, but she's strong enough to shrug it off and keep on going here. Blackstenius. Mead. A lot of traffic through the middle. Surely going to have to come wide. It does. This is Ford. That's well defended, but Ford is still there. Deflection on the cross. It's all a little bit desperate, but Reading should be able to get rid here, and they do. That has not gone out of play, has it? Well, he's given us a throw. Deanna Cooper, wrong side, out-muscled, out-paced. Believe that came to nothing. Van Havermate forward towards Dowie. Catley in firmly on her. Dowie wasn't complaining, but referee Louise Saunders says free kick. It's the third one of these from this rather central position that Reading have had. Well, nearly 3/4 of the ball. To be honest, not that unusual for a game like this between two clubs like this. You would expect Arsenal to dominate in that regard, and that's why we've seen so little of Manuela Zinsberger, and in fact often do in this league. Arsenal keep it well, use it well, and aren't troubled too often. Woodham with the left boot. That's a good ball. Just too much on it for Gemma Evans to be able to throw herself at it. She was onside. Just an ounce less power. She'd have had a chance to throw herself at something there and maybe get a diving header in on goal. Now back doing the day job of defending, solidly as ever. Tons of time on the ball back there. Reading clearly aren't going to go with the full court press. Just leaving portions of space in behind, because Arsenal have the ability to pass around that, no problem. Just Dowie on the chase there. You might have heard Jonas Eideveld there saying, now we change the point of attack, as Wubben-Moy looks for the big switch in the direction of Vivianne Miedema. It's worked, sort of, to McCabe. Van Havermate and Miedema. With Blackstenius, it's in! Denied by Burns in the first minute, but she has somehow squeezed that past her here. Jackie Burns, I think her body weight was going to the left here because it wasn't right in the corner and it wasn't super powerful. But either way, Stina Blackstenius has done what she probably should have done in the opening minute, and that's put Arsenal in front. All through the middle, a little too easy. It's good from Kim Little, it's good from Blackstenius, it's less good from the WSL debutant Jackie Burns. Second game against Reading, second goal against Reading. Stina Blackstenius on the mark for the Gunners, who have got themselves a third of the way to joining Manchester United and Chelsea on 9 points at the top of the WSL table. Strongly done by Rowe. Eklund. Katie McCabe straight in with the challenge, and great awareness from Leah Valti again. Blackstenius, and it's dangerous. She's got forward. The ball is on, the ball is played. Van Havermate has tracked her. Tash Dowie has won her flick. Zinsberger has her first bit of work to do. It's with the feet, not the gloves. Cave to Wubben-Moy here. Brilliant first-time ball from Valti. And she was the target of the second part, the 1-2, but had essentially left that to Katie McCabe and then realised she had to try and go and get it, which she couldn't manage, but it is an Arsenal throw. Miedema into Mead. Lots of traffic in there, hammered clear, or at least it was supposed to be, but Kim Little somehow nearly trapped that. Eklund clipped. It's a hopeful but ultimately wasteful ball for Harries to chase there. They've got to keep the ball better than this. Brooke Chaplin there watching on. Now, General Manager of Reading. Eklund looking for someone to throw it. Van Havermate, the obvious aerial target's a really good flick. It's Can we say almost a nearly moment for Reading there? Dowie just couldn't quite see the bounce work for her to get a shot away. Harries, chance for a first-time cross, too close to Zinsberger. Reuter should be relieved having missed that chance, and should be relieved having made that tackle. Just lost it to begin with, but not for long, and now bursting forward. Blackstenius pointing to where she wanted it. Good challenge from Evans. It's coming back to Blackstenius. Will the flag go up? It will. Got a goal on opening night against Brighton. Stina Blackstenius, one of the trio that Arsenal brought in mid-season. That's why there wasn't quite so much business done off-season. You'd think one major arrival when you're trying to strengthen for an even more concerted title push wouldn't sound like that much. Lena Hurtig in from Juve, the Swedish international, their only summer arrival, but they did bring in those three. Blackstenius there, along with Raphael at the back, and Reuter in the winter window of last season. Reuter playing a reasonable amount, kind of in and out with Maritz in that right-back scrap to which I was alluding earlier. Blackstenius certainly a regular starter, and Raphael as well. But both her and Williamson out at the moment. So Primer gets a breath back by the looks of it. Well, here's the goal. Really clever from Kim Little. You know where the goal is, so Stina Blackstenius doesn't have to turn and look. She has to turn and shoot. Just see the body weight of Jackie Burns there was going left, and it meant there was too much ground to make up. I'm not sure that when she hit that, Stina Blackstenius would have thought it was one of her better shots. It wasn't absolutely arrowing into the corner, but it was enough by that goal. Arsenal lead. They're on track for 9 out of 9. They're also on track for a pretty astonishing 11 wins running in the league from the run-in of last term and the start of this. Going way back to the 0-0 at Chelsea in the spring. That game they really had to win. You could see from the Chelsea celebrations at full time, they knew what it meant. Because there were one or two scares for both before the season ended. Actually a bit more in Chelsea's regard than Arsenal's. And that kept Chelsea where they wanted to be with those games in hand anyway. It's a better point for the Blues than it was for the Gunners. They've won every league match since. Little trying to release Blackstenius again. Now it's Mead, Miedemar and Mead. Neatly done by Rachel Rowe, and a hopeful ball. It's too strong. It's a good idea. Harries, the right wing back, was the target. Meetings in the WSL before this. 10 Arsenal wins. Twice Reading have managed to draw. That is it. It's looking like 2 points out of 39 unless they can find a way back into this. No team has ever faced another 13 times in this league without winning at least once. Sunday night weather in Berkshire. As we enter the final 5 of this first half, there'll be a fair bit to add on because of that Miedemar stoppage. Left boot of Catley, or the right of Mead. Very narrow on the edge of that D, isn't it? Elongated stoppage here, and it comes from Mead. Wubben-Moy looked like the target. McCabe. Another Arsenal corner. Premier did get a card for that challenge on Mead earlier. Confirmation of that there. Headed out, but not very far. Oh, that looked like it might have been a challenge on Valti that could have brought some screams for a penalty, but apparently not. Now it goes for a free kick Reading's way, and the danger is averted. Maybe, if Reading can keep it this way and then go a little more ambitious and start higher up the field later on, they could be in with a sniff. 4 of their last 6 goals in this division have been scored in the 88th minute or later. And 8 of their last 9 goals have been scored in the second half, so they'll hope for a repeat of that, having so far not managed to really threaten Zinsberger at all in this first half. Van Havermate is beaten to it by Wienreuter, who's been full of beans in this half. Back with Wubben-Moy here. Just a hint of a Reading press there. Towards Miedemar, but well read. Hasn't curled or spun out of play yet. Wubben-Moy will try and marshal it back. Job done. Bravo lot, says Jonas Eidevall from the touchline. In this long winning streak with all those clean sheets I was mentioning, Arsenal have scored 3 goals 3 times, 4 goals 4 times. They've had a 5 and a 7, and they've only conceded 2. Incredible. In 10 and a half league games now, this streak. Both of those 2, oddly enough, were against Birmingham in March. Still won the game. Birmingham, curiously, the relegated club who got so few points last term, got 3 of those points at home to Arsenal in the new year. There's a pull there. Reading free kick as we enter the final minute of normal time. We'll find out how much to be added on, but you'd think at least 2, and maybe even 3 or 4. comfortable in possession, better chances. All of this would have been expected pre-match. Not in the clear, even though Reading haven't been a threat. Any game at 1-0 remains a contest. Wubben Moy. And it is 4 added minutes as Beth Mead picks up the ball in space, and that could spell danger. Has found its way to Caitlin Ford here. That's wide. Good bearings from Jackie Burns. Starts to dive here. I think she knew, just as she semi-retracted that left glove, that was heading wide from Caitlin Ford. It's always dangerous. Probably doesn't score as many league goals as she should. Plenty in the cups for sure. She only finally got her first league goal of last season on the final day. Couple against Tottenham as well. Nice one at Everton, but it took until, it wasn't the final day actually, it took until the spring, that match against Birmingham. Something she kept complaining about actually when she was doing interviews. Made up for it in the end. Foul on Mead, free kick, a minute and a bit into the allotted stoppage time here. Lily Woodham with the foul. The card is out for it. It's Woodham and Primmer booked for the Royals here. 45 minutes against Arsenal, you can quite easily concede far more chances than Reading have done. So, in the sense of damage limitation, they've done well enough, but not looked damaging enough going the other way. You need to see this out. Second Arsenal goal here, right on half-time, would be a real blow. Catley delivers. It's off the top of the head of Justine van Havermaet. There's a party in the 6-yard box, and just about everyone's invited by the looks of it. Beth Mead. She's gone short to Catley, back to Mead. Reading had closed that down pretty well. Arsenal still have the ball, but forced all the way back. Little back to Wienreuter. It's a great pass, isn't it? Catley here. And again, Steph Catley. Primmer nipping in, and there was an offside. Did look it. I'd imagine Jackie Burns thought she'd probably be busier than she has been on her WSL bow here. Maybe after the first minute she was thinking, here we go, but it's actually been fairly quiet for her. Rowe. It's those moments, and they've had half a dozen of them, where just a bit more care is required and quality on the pass. Arsenal will have enough of the ball as it is without giving to them cheaply. And Arsenal have the lead at the break thanks to her. Stina Blackstenius nearly scored after 27 seconds and then did score the opener after a delightful cheeky pass from Kim Little. Reading haven't really laid a glove on their guests here. But Arsenal haven't exactly been tearing them to bits. This final game of the latest WSL weekend remains a contest at the interval, with Arsenal leading it by just the 1-goal-0. Reading versus Arsenal to finish off what, for these two at least, and indeed half the division, is weekend number 3 of the WSL campaign, and it nearly had the dream start for the Gunners. Look at this for a pass from Steph Catley, and a big hole for Stina Blackstenius to run through. One-on-one with the league debutant Jackie Burns in the Reading goal. And what a stop it was from the Northern Ireland international. Wonderful opportunity for Arsenal to score with 27 seconds on the clock. Tight decision, but looked like the right one. What a nightmare that would have been for Reading to concede so early. Remember, they came into this game having lost both of their league encounters and indeed their one cup tie. Arsenal looking to keep going, albeit very early, this perfect start. They've won 2 out of 2. This was a lovely turn by Caitlin Ford, and then Miedema feeding Mead. With McCandy getting a good touch on it, the Reading skipper here. Mead finding the power. She has scored or assisted in 5 of her last 6. You can generally, very rarely keep Beth Mead quiet. She's not actually been all that noisy, funnily enough, for Arsenal in this game. This was a wonderful move. They'd kept it for ages, knocking it about Arsenal here. And then Ford floating it in there. Had Wienreuter been able to finish that off, not only would it have been her first Gunners goal, but it would have been a brilliant team goal. Everyone involved almost deserved the finish, really. It's the only thing it was missing. But soon enough, Arsenal did find their breakthrough. Kim Little, too much space allowed in the middle there, and maybe a bit too much space to the right hand of Jackie Burns. Stina Blackstenius spinning and striking and putting Arsenal in front. It's here from Valti into Little, who is allowed to turn on the ball. She's way too good to be given that amount of room. It's only a few yards, but that's tons for a player of her quality, and she very cleverly popped it through the legs there with the pass, and Blackstenius found close enough to the corner. I think Burns was expecting to go the other way. Right at the end of the half, that long ball found its way to Caitlin Ford. Keeping her place on the left side of the attack, with Lena Hurtig still on the bench. Ford off target, but Arsenal in front by a goal to 0 at the break. Well, these are the half-time numbers. You can see Reading's are all rather familiar for them. No shots, not even a corner yet. But, you know, no red cards. A couple of yellows, those going to Primmer and Woodham. Arsenal have had 8 efforts, but only 2 of them on target, and one of them in the first 30 seconds. And yes, they bossed the ball. They lead by a goal to 0. Now, like Arsenal, another side that went into this weekend with maximum points and no goals conceded were Manchester United. They played Brighton earlier today. Andy Bishop, watch this one.
Manchester United have made a bright start here, plenty of the ball and a fair few opportunities as well, but they haven't found a way to get themselves in front just yet. Here's Bajek. I know that she can put a ball into the box, and she picks out Ella Toon. Perfectly placed header, and Manchester United get themselves in front. And it's no surprise at all that Ona Bajek is involved. Her 3rd assist already this season. Perfectly picking out Ella Toon, and she just put that header out of the reach of Megan Walsh. Her first goal of the campaign for Manchester United's all-time leading scorer. United breaking through again. Here it's Galton to Toon, who can make it too. Ella Toon's 2nd of the afternoon. And things are getting better and better for Manchester United. Staniforth doing really well in the middle of midfield. She threaded it through. And then Leah Galton, knowing that she had Toon to her left, and she just clipped it beyond Walsh. And Manchester United are cruising here after just 26 minutes. Really well taken finish. Here Garcia. Toon threads it forwards, chance for a third, and it's taken by Leah Galton. Ella Toon returns the favour. Galton had assisted a goal for her a little earlier. Well, Toon, perfectly weighted pass, perfectly timed run. And again, there was very little that Megan Walsh could do. Manchester United cutting through Brighton time and time again. Sent forwards here. Could Brighton perhaps give themselves a goal before half-time? Turlan's effort brilliantly saved by Mary Earps. Well, it's little wonder why she hasn't been beaten so far this season. Leaping to her left, and she got two really good hands on that to keep it out. Touch by Galton, and it will drop straight into the path of Adriana Leon, who gets her first goal for the club. And that will wrap things up here for Manchester United. A really well taken finish by the substitute. And Manchester United are heading to the top of the WSL.
So a thumping win for Manchester United, matched by that of neighbours Manchester City, who beat Leicester. Spurs won by an own goal to nil at home to Liverpool. And West Ham United ended Aston Villa's excellent start in a very feisty encounter yesterday. All of which means that Arsenal right now will be joining Manchester United and Chelsea on the 9-point mark at the top of the WSL table. Goal difference could be a factor, and Arsenal will be looking for more after the break, and then they can say they are top of the league. They need another one goal, in fact. Should do the job because of goals scored. Remember, they've already had two 4-0 wins. Leicester at the bottom, looking in trouble already, having just about survived last term at Birmingham's expense. So 1-0 to Arsenal, and the game's still on here. If Reading can find a way to fight back into it, they're not out of it, because it's only one. The second half is coming soon. Well, it was a slight surprise that Faye Bryson was not in the original lineup. She usually is for Kelly Chambers. Wasn't too specific, the Reading coach, as to why she'd made some of the changes that she had, but Faye Bryson is on, having been a brilliant recruit, frankly, last year. Came in, hit the ground running. Can Reading get themselves involved in the game higher up the field? That is the question. And when do they do it? They probably won't do it straight away here. They'll stay deep. And they've generally, I guess Arsenal might have had a goal or two more, but really, generally Reading have kept them pretty much at arm's length. You would expect an Arsenal side of this quality to have threatened more than they did. Only a couple of shots to save for Jackie Burns, and that's largely because the blocks have been good from Reading. And at some point, as I say, not necessarily yet, they're going to have to start playing further up the field, because that ball just keeps on coming back. I think they might try and stay strong for a while, and then everyone shift up 10-15 yards and take a bit more of a risk. The longer it stays 1-0, that is more than likely going to be what they'll try here, but we shall see. Akelin with the throw for Reading here. So regular in there, barely missed a game for the last couple of years. Emily Akelin, Rachel Rowe trying to get something going there for Reading. Catley is in the way. So far, not overly tested, to be honest, as a centre-back pairing, her and Lottie Woodman-Moy here. We'll have to see who's fit and available midweek. It'll be a very different kind of test against the might of Lyon. Group stage game #1 for Arsenal, and it couldn't be harder. Away to them as well. They're away in the league again. It's Liverpool after this, so 3 trips, 7 days. Liverpool having had that sensational start by beating the champions Chelsea from behind on the opening day, having been promoted, have then gone on to lose the next 2. Mead, that's an excellent pass. Miedemar, deflection. It'll be a corner. Just confirmation it was Emma McCandy who's made way. And that Reading change, let's see Rice come on. Seven games in a row she has scored against Reading, Vivianne Miedemar. The only record against any club better than hers against Reading is hers against Bristol. Here comes Arsenal's first corner of this second half, out by Van Havermaet, but only as far as Beth Mead. There's another drive. Struck it into Van Havermaet again, Valti. Good work from Rowe and Harries. Wallop clear by Cooper. And there's something to chase here. Wienreuter under pressure from Emma Harries. Fringe player, the youngster for Reading, till last season when Danielle Carter had gone to Brighton. That brought Emma Harries into it. A welcome to the game for Faye Bryson. Is that challenge here on Mead? Sandwiched, really, between her and Woodham. There aren't many made of more stern stuff than Beth Mead, though. couple of goals on opening night against Brighton and the early opener against Tottenham. Just been a brilliant year on and off the field for the Arsenal and England star. Just go off to come back on again here. Forward by Deanna Cooper. Awkward bounce that for Lily Woodham. Blackstenius fighting away as Wienreuter. Just a reminder of the team news there, and they made a change at the back, having already made a change at the back. Bryson dropping out of the side for today, but back on at half-time. And Arsenal coming forward here. Blackstenius is in the middle. The offside flag is up anyway. See that Arsenal are playing with Wienreuter, not Maritz at right back. Filling in rather at centre half, Catley and Wubben-Moy in the absence of Williamson and Raphael. Arsenal have had 63 shots this season. That is way more than anyone else. Extraordinary tally, bearing in mind they've played 2.5 games. That's a blatant foul. Frustrating game when you're a centre forward of an underdog who are not going to see much of the ball. That means we're not going to see much generally of Tash Dowie. Their top scorer last season with 6. Year before it was Rachel Rowe with 5. You can see why Kelly Chambers was so keen last term to bring in Tash Dowie. And for a little while it looked like she got what she wanted, a prolific scorer. It suddenly came in a big hurry, those Dowie goals. A few games into the season, then they dried up again. This is good work from Blackstenius. And as usual, the defending is excellent from Gemma Evans. No-nonsense defenders, a dying breed at every level of the game of football, but Gemma Evans is one of them, for sure. She'll be back helping the defensive effort on this Arsenal corner here. Little false start. Catley, right into the mix. McCabe didn't know what to do with it, and he's just arrived at Miedemar. Anywhere but there, and it's 2-0. Vivian Miedemar. Well, either corner, no hope for Burns. Just happened to be straight at her. At that range, no one's got those reflexes. For once, luck not going her way against Reading. She's got time though, and she's got passing range. That's a lovely ball for Ford. Mead in the middle, so to Blackstenius. Ford, still, Miedemar again. Look at all the blue and white in front of her. It had to go wide. It does go wide. McCabe, Blackstenius, off the post. Look how relieved Deanna Cooper is. Katie McCabe trying to find the goal scorer. They didn't get there because it hit Deanna Cooper on the way through. That would have been unlucky. Good pressure from the Gunners early in this second half. Look at that 6-yard box again. They've hit the post again. Flick header from Blackstenius. Wubben-Moy on the volley, sliced and wide. Reading goalie leading something of a charmed life. That same upright in the way twice for Arsenal. Look at that, the near post flick header. And again, Jackie Burns would have been helpless and hopeless there. Could have bounced anywhere as well. Really well to turn that anywhere near the goal. So far beyond the near post was she. Miedema with options and space. This is dangerous, but it's wide from forward again. Well, they're getting plenty of chances early in this second half, Arsenal. Christina Blackstenius involved in all of them. Just cannot give it away that cheaply. Tash Dowie having a bit of a moan, actually, at Amelie Ekelund there, but I don't think it was a very good ball from Dowie. Burns had that covered, even if it had been on target. If there is a weakness to her game, it would be just that final end product of finishing. Certainly not of setting them up, Caitlin Ford. I mentioned she took 6 months to score in the league last season. Get a couple in the cups and scored a couple of brilliant goals right at the end of the season against Tottenham in the same game. They were super finishes, but a little too much of that. Now, chance here for the equaliser, and what a chance! And Harries hasn't taken it. Well, just like that, all that pressure for Arsenal. Completely bossed the ball, had all the shots. Their lead could have been wiped out there and then. Zinsberger has had next to nothing to do here. Cooper launching it forward, and there's the first hole you've seen. Wilburn Moy's back header, not a good one. It's a big stop that from Zinsberger. Harries had to wait for it to sit. So close, and that ricochet could have gone absolutely anywhere. And that's the thing when you're Manuela Zinsberger. This is quite often what happens to her. She can spend enormous chunks of time watching the game from about 60 yards away and only sparingly be called into action, but that is a big save. And having got away with it, it's one of those ones that maybe the other side of Al will think, well, I don't mind that, because it just might make them up the ante even more, as a little reminder. This game is certainly not done. Jordan Nobbs warming up there for Arsenal. Encouragement for Reading. Arsenal won't mind them coming on. There's another shot. Another effort on target too. A far more comfortable stop for Zinsberger, who quickly gets on with it. And this is why they won't mind Reading coming on. More space to play in. It's overhit. Very nearly a first WSL goal conceded by Arsenal this season, and indeed for a long time before that. Eight and a half league games without conceding, going back to the home victory over Birmingham, a game in which Caitlin Ford broke her season duck. You think it's just a matter of time before Arsenal get their next goal and make this more comfortable, but weird things happen, including in the WSL. Reading beat the seemingly invincible Chelsea last year. Brighton did it the year before too, when they're on the longest unbeaten run they'd ever been. And Birmingham, who had 1 point, beat Arsenal last season as well. Here's Kim Little. And still Kim Little. Oh, that's a beautiful ball. Real disguise on it. Ford nearly hacked away. Mead isn't going to let it run for a corner. Arsenal looking for that second goal. That's not a good enough cross. She's saying handball, Beth Mead here. Just have a look at this here. As Beth Mead goes to cross it. And it was a handball on that Mead cross. Beth Mead immediately turned, having crossed it there, saying it hit an arm on the way through. Just before the hour mark, Kim Little here. Big deep breath, even for someone as well seasoned as her. The heart will be thumping a little bit. Now, Jackie Burns. Here's a chance to make yourself a Reading hero on league debut. Little, saved, and the rebound is cleared. How about that? It is still game on. One of the most experienced players in the history of this league up against a debutant goalkeeper. And it's Jackie Burns who wins the day. It's not a good penalty, is it? It's nowhere near a corner. Still, if Burns goes to her left, it's in the back of the net, and everyone says, well, good penalty is one that hits the net. There's a couple of players down here. The contest remains alive. Woodham down, McCabe down, and Reading still down, but only by 1-0. Well, everyone have a breath here. Arsenal still not in the clear. Katie McCabe just seeing if Lily Woodham's okay. The smile would suggest she is. They dodged a bullet there. Just imagine if Reading can sneak something out of this. Here's the replay, and you can see why. It's actually a good decision from the assistant on this near side. Mead was calling for it straight away. Referee Louise Saunders couldn't really have seen it. Lily Woodham had an arm out. It was an unnatural position. She definitely has to be careful, by the way. She was one of those cautioned in the first half. Don't forget that. Yes, that would be a better stance, wouldn't it? Arms behind the back. Burns going long. Well, it's been a lively old WSL debut for her, hasn't it, Jackie Burns? It's a less eventful club debut in the League Cup defeat to Tottenham. But called into action big time twice here. Is Wienreuter, heavy touch. Flying into Primmer there, and the first challenge wasn't a foul. The second on Miedemar was by Deanna Cooper. Arsenal have a free kick. And a card coming out of the pocket. No, it's not. And there was a card for Deanna Cooper. Yeah, Deanna Cooper joining Woodham and Primmer on the naughty list. We are getting a little close to Christmas, folks. Okay, tried to poke it through to Ford. And I think we're going to see another yellow card now. Caitlin Ford knew exactly what she was doing there, having played a part in losing the ball. Wasn't going to let Akelin get away. A little hand and then an accidental deliberate collision. Maybe the ref won't notice. Well, she did. Ford in the book. Well, they've played well enough to win this game, Arsenal. And they are winning this game. But they're not anywhere near their fluid best. As another aimless ball goes long there. Painful one there for Katie McCabe, and she too picked up a caution. No stranger to a card at all, Katie McCabe, as anyone who watches Arsenal knows. She scored against Reading. That was after she'd come back from a ban. Only just returned from another one, actually. Is Mead going for the wrong footing shot. Claims corner. Onside, certainly. Just trying to catch, I think, Jackie Burns out here by going for that near post. Flicked off Van Havermate, and it is another Arsenal corner. We saw Jordan Nobbs warming up a little while ago. Come on here for Vivianne Miedema. We're also going to see Frida Marnham. And so the hot streak ends on the presumption that that number is correct. It's a little frown on the face of Miedema. Have some treatment for that arm issue in the first half, but, well, maybe he's thinking about Lyon, maybe he's thinking, well, who knows what he's thinking, but she doesn't look overly chuffed, does she? Vivianne Miedema, that 7-game scoring streak against Reading, into double figures against the Royals, off. Jordan Nobbs on. Meanwhile, more of a smile for Caitlin Ford as she departs. Lena Hurtig, it's actually a triple change here, as well as Frida Marnham. Lena Hurtig, that'll be a straight swap on the left side, and Leah Balti off in the middle. That'll be a straight swap, with Marnham going in there. Frida Marnham arrived last summer. Well known to the boss from Swedish football. She'll be playing in the middle of the park with Kim Little. And the newest recruit of all, Lena Hurtig, signed from Juve, is now on as well, as Beth Mead has some new targets to aim at with this latest Arsenal corner. Couple of handball shouts there. Not this time. Nobbs straight into the action. Catley. That's a good ball. It's also well defended by Dowie. And Rachel Rowe brings it out. I would suggest a treble change at this point. Indicates that Una Seiderveld demanding a little more. And you could kind of understand why. Here's another look. Well, she tried to pull it away, didn't she, Lily Woodham? But it was too late for that. You never know where those rebounds are going to go. You almost feel like it's overly harsh on a goalkeeper who makes a save that he might then concede a rebound while they're on the floor. It almost seems unfair. Meanwhile, at the other end, Steph Catley forced into some hurried defending under pressure from Harries, and Reading have a throw high up the field. Eklund getting on with it. Rowe, and still. I think the best guess there will be corner. Look at the officials. They're looking at one another. And that was a real 50-50 just inside there. It actually had the potential, as Rachel Rowe was lining up that volley, if she'd just been able to get a toe in there first, of being a penalty, actually. And I think he'll be a little bit concerned, not because Reading are applying great amounts of pressure, but because it's sort of drifting, this. It's a 1-0 drifter. Could just get caught. They nearly did it, didn't they, with Emma Harries a few minutes ago. In comes the corner. Oh, it's off the woodwork. And another reminder that a Reading equaliser may not be far away. And never is, because that is all it takes. Hurtig seeming to leave it. Either great judgment or a great big chunk of luck. Eventful game for Lily Woodham. She nearly scored a freak goal there. With the ball, all the chances, twice. They've very nearly seen their lead disappear, Arsenal. International break or otherwise, Lyon in midweek or otherwise, I don't think Jonas Eideveld will be overly impressed with this performance here, which might be why he brought on Jordan Nobbs and Hurtig here. Medal winner, title winner indeed, with Juventus in Italy. The link with Blackstenius at international level for Sweden is a helpful one for Lena Hurtig. Nobbs dropping in short, and here's Marnham. Powering away. Hurtig has McCabe on her outside. Katie McCabe, Arsenal looking for a second. There's 5 of them in the box, it's threaded right through all of them. Nobbs, 2 straight. Long time Arsenal favourite. 12 years a Gooner, Jordan Nobbs. Doesn't get nearly so many goals these days, doesn't get nearly so much time on the field, in fairness. The last was an absolute boomer of a strike against Everton in April, during that long Arsenal streak of wins and clean sheets that is, as it stands, in league terms anyway, still ongoing. They've had a couple of real scares back there. And if they can see through another clean sheet here, it will be 11 straight league wins with 10 clean sheets in that. That really is incredible. Flag is up on Nobbs here. Just a couple of encouraging moments. Reading have kept it to 1. Such is the disparity generally between top and bottom of this league, and I'm not suggesting Reading are permanent bottom dwellers, they're certainly not, but in all honesty, Kelly Chambers, Reading players, Reading fans, they'd have taken 1-0 down at 72 minutes. Most teams don't get even that relative amount of joy against Arsenal. Wibben-Moy leaves it. McCabe clears it. Or Woodham. Very much a back 4 in this second half, with Bryson coming on the right. For Reading, that was Kelly Chambers' change. You can see them trotting back now, that quartet. Back to McCabe. Good run from deep, that from Jordan Nobbs, breaking the lines. Perhaps a little conservative thereafter. Here's Kim Little. You'll be feeling it more than most, even though she's been there and done it and got the T-shirts. Another misplaced pass from her there. Well, she made the opening goal, but she could have made this game a lot safer, that's for sure. One of this league's great performers for so long, Kim Little. 5 years plus into her second spell as an Arsenal player, and the first was where she really made her name as one of the talents in the women's game anywhere, and went to the States and Australia in between the Arsenal spells. Lauren Wade coming here, one of Kelly Chambers' new recruits for the summer. She's going to replace Tia Primer for what remains. Like Jackie Burns, Northern Ireland international Lauren Wade, brought in from Glentoran. Now trying to make a name for herself in the WSL. Immediately making a run from midfield to add an extra number going that way. Rowe. Nicely turning away from Nobbs. Deflection on that. Might turn into a handy pass, that. McCabe on the cover. That's very calmly done by Katie McCabe, isn't it? Definitely more emphasis on those blue and white shirts being further forward now. Burns getting there just in time. A lot of pre-match talk about getting have nothing to lose and all those cliches, but right now I still fancy they can get something here. And even though they've got a lead, Arsenal will be tense because they know it should be a clearer lead. They know they haven't played that well either. They'll get their pocket picked here and draw 1-1. They will be absolutely kicking themselves. Wade started in the Cup, has started one of the league games as well. It's not a WSL foul for her like it is for her international colleague between the posts. Here's Nobbs. And Mead, the obvious ball, and she has indeed played it. Beth Mead, still trying to dance her way through the entire Reading defence. Reuter with the throw into Blackstenius, who at the moment is still the match winner. They managed to see out a 1-0 lead against a tougher opponent in Ajax last time they played Arsenal, albeit quite a while ago now, before the international break. It's been far more comfortable than that in the league, though. Remember, they beat Brighton 4-0 and Tottenham 4-0. Neither of them were flattering. Probably should have been more, to be honest. Here is Blackstenius. Too close to Burns. Hurtig trying to nip in at the near post there. Right now, Arsenal going second by virtue of 1 goal of goal difference, worse off than Manchester United, who struck 4 today, 3 of them in the first half. Ella Toone in the goals again. Brilliant from Mead. The ball for Blackstenius wasn't bad either, was it? What a superb piece of cover defending that was. Almost as good as a goal, that, from Faye Bryson. Fabulous skill. I guess, being the high-quality player that she is, Beth Mead, she'll be a bit disappointed she couldn't make that pass. Just, well, not perfect, just a little better. Just held up, which allowed Bryson to get in and make that challenge. Speaking of which, it's been Reuter in on Wade here, and that was a good challenge. Arsenal twice hitting the post, albeit once it was Deanna Cooper of Reading, but twice the upright coming to Reading's safety, and then once at the other end as well. That corner. There's Rachel Rowe. Kim Little going with her. Two captains. That's a good ball, and it's a great chance, and it should have been the equaliser. She's waited 79 minutes for it, Tash Dowie. There's her chance. Reading's best goal scorer by a distance, denied by Zinsberger. The control was good. The spin, the shot, didn't really get hold of it. Outstretched foot does the job. 3 nearly moments for Reading. Will they get another? Tash Dowie would give anything to have that chance again, and she connects cleanly, and surely Zinsberger can't make the save. It's only a corner. It ought to have been a Reading equaliser as we approach the final 10 minutes. It's still game on. There are 7 Royals up here. 8. Include the back of the D. Bryson is waiting. Woodham delivers right into the mix. It's another corner again. I think that came off the top of Marnham as it headed goalwards. Dowie's header, and it was Frida Marnham. Would it have hit Zinsberger behind her anyway? I think it probably would have done, but you never know. He might have just burst through the gloves. But they're pushing hard now, all right. They've fought for the right to stay in this contest, Reading, by defending well. Zinsberger out with the fists. It'll be another corner. Well, Kelly Chambers has been talking about the rub of the green and how her side haven't had it this season. Four times they've nearly scored in this second half. Near post flick. Then Bryson. We believe that was a shot. And Arsenal try and counter. They still can't and haven't put this game to bed. In the last 10 minutes, the Reading goal has looked every bit as likely as another Arsenal one. Well, saves few and far between, but the ones that have come have been brilliant ones. Look at this from Zinsberger. The other was with her left foot as well. If Dowie gets hold of it, it's surely in. And this from the corner that followed, Dowie's header and Frida Marnham's header. The thing about that is that could so easily have gone into her own net off her head. Real drama here as Arsenal, dare I say it, cling on. I don't expect to say that about them, but they are. If not clinging on, certainly getting very twitchy. And we're going to see Jen Beattie here. And Katie McCabe, who looks about as pleased to be coming off as Vivianne Miedema was, Miedema, excuse me, was earlier. Jen Beattie, far less regular than she used to be, that is for sure these days, but still an important part of the United squad. She started last season before Lottie Wubben-Moy got in, and then Raphael came in, it pushed her further down the pecking order. You can't help but think, as is so often the case with the underdogs, that they've had their little spell and maybe that was it, and they had to score during it, Reading. If they've got the belief they can create again. Rachel Rowe, what a piece of closing down from Mead. That's a good ball if the flag stays down. Blackstenius here on her own, but Hurtig arriving. I think Burns had it covered. It got a touch, she said. The referee has agreed. She's had her chances. She's taken one of them. Will it be enough? Good numbers, and they're seeing, I would suggest, tighter affair than they thought they might. It's still in the balance with a little over 5 minutes and stoppage time to go. Here's Catley. Arsenal's wonderful clean sheet record. Just staying clean, but only just. We're really going to get a better chance than that double Dowie moment a moment ago. She will hope more than anyone, I suspect, that they don't, because Kim Little had the opportunity to put the daylight between these two. Eventful. Jackie Byrne's debut. A couple of big stops at either end now. Still the goal scoring proves Reading's downfall. 2 goals all season, 1 in a cup tie very late on when they were 2-0 down, and 1 in a league game very late on when they were 2-0 down. Close to being shut out again. They've come so close to scoring. And it doesn't say how, it only says how many, and they haven't got any here. That was confidently done, wasn't it, by Lily Woodham? Good job she got away with it. Bryson. Harries. Staying strong and keeping the ball and winning the free kick. She was probably half going over, but I think she ran into me, is what Jordan Nobbs has said there. Emma Harries is shaking her head and pointing to her knee here. Let's hope it's just a clash of knees as opposed to a twist of one. Yes, it was. Knee right on knee, wasn't it? Right there. Just a reminder on the Reading Late Show. 4 of their last 6 goals in this league, and Kelly Chambers will be so dearly hoping for another here. 4 of the last 6 have been scored in the 88th minute or later. They've also scored that cup goal I mentioned a moment ago. That was in stoppage time. It's a handy record to have, only if you're a maximum of 1 goal down, though. You wonder if their ship has sailed in terms of chances here. Young Emma Harries does seem to be in a fair bit of pain there. Just below the knee, above the shin pad, is where the knock happened. What's the message to the Reading bench here? They're waiting to hear. As long as Kelly Chambers can see through the rain-covered specs, I think it's going to be a change by the looks of things. Harries is, by the looks of it, in some real distress there. That foul by Jordan Nobbs on her clearly caused a lot of pain. Jordan Nobbs comes over to say sorry for what that is worth. Jordan Nobbs was on the end of a cruncher herself in pre-season of last summer against Chelsea at the Emirates, and it put her out for a good while before she was able to return. So the young Emma Harries, there will be no further part to play. Kelly Chambers, in search of another one of those late Reading goals, is sending on Charlie Wellings here, one of her new recruits in the summer. Prolific, albeit north of the border, where the competition, as we know, is not quite so strong, but more than a goal a game she got for Celtic, 40 in 34. She has already opened her Reading account with one of those late goals in the 95th minute at Brighton. Surely she can't repeat the trick here. Plenty up, as you would expect, as we enter the first of 6 stoppage time minutes. It could be in! Zinsberger jumps on it. Deanna Cooper just trying to bundle everyone and everything into the back of the net with her. Gratefully grabbed and well held onto in slippery conditions by Zinsberger. Nothing to do at all in that first half, but every bit as busy as Burns in this second. There's a foul in the middle of it, I suspect, on Blackstenius, who was trying to defend it anyway. At least 5 stoppage time minutes to come. I think we'll call that a header by Rachel Rowe. Ball hit her more than her hitting the ball. Mead denied. And another stoppage here. And more treatment required, I think. Oh no, maybe not. Mead's okay by the looks of it. It's not often that Beth Mead doesn't have her name for good reason running right through a match. She's actually, by her standards, been a little quieter here. Neither scoring nor setting up, which these days is something of a shock. Little with the assist, Blackstenius with what is looking increasingly like the only goal of this game, and therefore the one that wins it. Forward by Beattie. Still time for Arsenal to make it more comfortable. They'll have a chance to do that from the corner after more typical Gemma Evans defending. Stenius does a good line in tight runs, doesn't she? Right on the shoulder. May well go closer to 97 or even 98, I think. In comes the corner. Hurtig was trying to attack it for Arsenal. Reading made sure she couldn't get the run on. Little. Nobbs. Little again. And again. Nobbs will get there. Might need some help. Beth Mead coming to offer it. She's done brilliantly there, Beth Mead. Absolutely superb. And again, still time for her to stamp her name all over this game. That is superb, though, from Beth Mead, isn't it? That's a lost cause. She's turned it into a corner. Even though she's not moving that freely. Everything you would want if you're a manager. Real quality, but the industry to match. There aren't many who have tons of both. Beth Mead, certainly one who does. And she takes the corner here, and it's a good corner as well. Little will know there's no way she's playing that offensive pass there in case it went wrong, with Reading all ready to swamp all over and counter-attack. That's where you need the brains as well as the skills. Zinsberger. Here's Frida Marnham. And Mead is in here, trying to wrap it up. No, more good defensive work. The latest block coming from Lily Woodham. Well, there are defeats and there are defeats, aren't there? And you know, Reading got done 4-0 twice by Arsenal last term, and neither of those was really a contest. But there's no way Kelly Chambers isn't taking a great deal out of this performance from her side. They've limited the Gunners in relative terms, the chances they've been allowed to create. But for the finest of margins, they could easily have pinched an equaliser here. If they're going to do it, they've got to do it just about now. And Kim Little is not taking any chances at all. Well, the 6 minutes are done. I should think there should be at least another 60 seconds. The throw doesn't go long. Will it go in now from Woodham? It will. Only two in there. Still won by a Reading head. Not much of a clearance that by Hurtig. Blackstenius draws the foul. Job done. Bryson with that foul, and I think she's going to get booked here. Yes, she did. Another yellow card. Blink and you'll miss them. Confirmation of the Bryson caution. The ball is where Reading need it not to be. The yes you hear and the clenched fist both come from Jonas Eidevall, whose side have had a real test here. So often they have breathing room. They didn't get it here. Blackstenius with the early goal. For ages had Arsenal one up. What a golden chance for a nerve-settling second. But Kim Little's penalty was saved by Jackie Burns. And then to some degree, you'd have to say the Gunners rode their luck. A couple of brilliant saves from Manuela Zinsberger. Otherwise, Reading might have been celebrating a first point of the season. And you know what? They probably would have just about deserved it. Marnham cleared one off the line and a corner hit the post as well. But Arsenal, unlike them, clinging on by the end to a victory by 1-0. And it means they go joint top of the table on that 9-point mark. Winners here, the Gunners, but only just.
you, and that helps.
The final game of this latest WSL season saw Arsenal come to Reading, and it nearly saw Arsenal take a first-minute lead over Reading. Stina Blackstenius, 27 seconds in, denied by Jackie Burns, in for a WSL debut. It was a great stop from the Northern Ireland international. It's a great pass from Catley too, but what a hole. Huge one for Blackstenius to run through. Her time would come, and Reading would generally defend far better across the course of this game. This was actually the best move Arsenal put together as a team unit in the whole match, actually. It ended with Caitlin Ford clipping it to the far post, where really Laura Wienreuter should have done a bit better. Not scored for Arsenal yet since joining in the new year. Doesn't get many opportunities to either. That was a good one. But that kind of slick Arsenal football was few and far between. Kim Little afforded too much space here. She got it through to Blackstenius, who got it past Burns. As it turned out, that would be the principal moment of this match. Kim Little left for once in a bit of space. Good awareness from her to know that she had that space so she could take the turn. The clever little poke pass. Burns wrong-footed by the finish. And you thought at that point, well, usually Arsenal put the hammer down, get themselves in the clear. They nearly got a second here. Caitlin Ford taking the mazy way round. Miedemar getting it out to Katie McCabe. Deanna Cooper off her own post. That led to a corner, and from that, Stina Blackstenius hit the same post, would you believe, with that near post flick there. Right then, Reading were maybe riding their luck just a touch. Wubben-Moy saw her rebounded effort slicing wide, but very close to two for Arsenal and for the Swedish striker here. Reading, after that, actually had the better goal-scoring opportunities. This one here, Wubben-Moy header, a mistake. And Emma Harries will wish she could have that moment again. It's a good left boot stuck out by Manuela Zinsberger here to bail out her stand-in centre-half. Lottie Wubben-Moy and Steph Catley in there, remembering the injured absence of Williamson and Raphael. And with Arsenal still trying to put on the pressure for number two, Beth Mead with a cross here. And Lily Woodham even stuck out an arm. They called for it. And the applause here from Steph Catley tells you that they got it. Well spotted by the assistant, if not by the referee, who couldn't really see it from there, Louise Saunders. But Kim Little, one of this league's great performers and most experienced players, denied by a WSL debutant. Jackie Burns guessing right, going right, keeping it out. Lily Woodham's corner for Reading there clearly wasn't meant to go in, but it nearly did. And Arsenal, genuine scares here. Another huge moment and another huge save by the left boot of Manuela Zinsberger here. Rachel Rowe doing so well to get the cross in. It fell for Natasha Dowie, by some distance their most experienced and deadly goal scorer. Dowie's only chance of the game, and she couldn't take it. She'll be reliving that. So that was a corner. And then Dowie nearly scored again from that. Her header, not Zinsberger this time, but Frida Marnham in front of her as Reading went so close. But 1-0 Arsenal it stayed. Well, here are the full-time numbers. Reading hadn't had a shot at half-time. As you can see, they'd had 7 by full-time. Clearly Arsenal, with 21 in total and 6 on target, bossed the game, and they had 10 corners. They also had more of the ball. All of that you would expect. Reading made it a real contest by the end. What it means, though, for Reading is a third straight league defeat and a third straight win for Arsenal. Earlier today, Tottenham beat Liverpool. The two Manchester sides had fun at home with 4-0 wins apiece. Chelsea, the champions, won at Everton. Saturday's only game saw West Ham end Aston Villa's good start to the season. So with most clubs having played 3 and a couple of them having played 4, there are 3 clubs with 9 points. For Manchester United and Arsenal, it is 9 points out of 9. Chelsea have played an extra game and have been beaten. Remember, Reading still down at the bottom, they and Leicester yet to get off the mark. But for Kelly Chambers and Reading, you certainly think there'll be plenty to take from this game. They have genuinely tested one of this league's most excellent sides. Arsenal have now won 11 in a row in the league, with clean sheets in 10 of them, but my goodness, they were pushed by the Royals here in the Berkshire rain today. 1-0 the final score. From all of us for now, it's goodbye.